Welcome to Vintage Gaming Memories. Shall we play a game?
Pac-Man. That's me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate each one of you for taking time to check this video out. Let's just jump right into this. So this item was purchased as a NIB, new in box, and it's really not vintage in the sense of when it came out, but the theme of this is actually very vintage. So let me show you what's inside here. Well, here it is. This is a Bandai Namco Pac-Man wireless speaker and charger. Now, this came out probably in late 2021 or maybe early 2022. And I only say that because if you look at the compatibility list, compatibility on the phones that this works with, you'll see right here, it mentions that the latest version of the Samsung is the Samsung Galaxy S21, which happened to come out in 2021. And then if you look at the Apple iPhone, it shows here that it was with the Apple iPhone 13, which came out in later 2021. Now, the successor to the Samsung S21 was the S22, which came out early 2022. And then, of course, the iPhone 13 successor was the iPhone 14, which came out in later 2022. So with all that said, it's probably sometime between late 2021 and early 2022. However, here's the big giveaway. This Bandai Namco logo here, the marketing of this came out in 2022. So I think that solves it all. This is probably 2022, early 2022. But regardless of that, it doesn't matter when this was manufactured because that's not the vintage part of it. It's the iconic imagery and theme of Pac-Man. It is vintage. And now I haven't even explained what this really is. I just mentioned that phones that are compatible with this device or this thing in a box. But let's take a look at it and see what this really is all about. Let's look at the box here. It says wireless charging, induction speaker, luminous light, power up, wireless speaker, and charger. Well, I think the image of it also gives it away. You put your cell phone in here, if it's compatible with those that are listed in the box, and it does wireless charging for your phone. It also lights up as far as the Pac-Man itself. And also the very cool part of this is that it has an induction speaker. Now, what's an induction speaker? Well, from my understanding, which means basically my research on the internet, it's basically the sounds coming from the phone when you put it inside here will be created through sound waves that are then amplified to the induction speaker that's part of this Pac-Man device. And how does it all work? Well, it uses the electromagnetic sound waves and vibrations that come through the sound itself, and then it amplifies it with that induction speaker. Another cool thing about that is that it doesn't need an app or cables or anything like that for that to work. Like I said, you just put it inside this area here, and the induction speaker will amplify it. We'll take a look at all that in a second. And like I said, this is new in box, and it does look like it so far. As far as the cost for this, because it's new and all, and it's probably not able to be bought from the manufacturer today, I did pay $50 for it, which wasn't too bad. I'm going to definitely use this as my charger in my office. It's not going to be down by the game room with all the other vintage items, but I just thought it'd be a cool little thing to pick up, and you know, it does serve a purpose. It will be very useful. So let's check this out and see what's inside here and make sure this all works. And hopefully it is new like it was stated. It's a little bit dusty. Nothing shocking, but hopefully, I don't know, maybe this isn't as new as I think. Well, let's pull this out and see. No, I think it is. So it comes with instructions, one-sided. Again, talking pretty much about the compatibility is also in here. How to utilize this for charging. Have my nice USB cable here that came with it for it to actually give power to this Pac-Man. Oh, there's a speaker, you could see. And on the back, that's where you plug in the USB connection. Your on and off switch. Oh, look at that. It's got a charge still. So it does retain a charge for quite some time, because I think this was sitting in the box that I did not open for probably, I think it's almost a month. So that was pretty good. I guess it was fully charged. Again, that's the switch just for the light. And then let's get some lights turned off in here so you can see that. That's pretty cool. We know that it does retain a charge for some time. Now we have to check out the actual charging itself. So let's go ahead and try this with the phone. So I have the USB cable plugged in, and it's ready to be plugged into the back of this Pac-Man charging system. But what I'm going to show you first is the induction speaker, which is pretty cool. Did a little bit of reading as I was getting the extension cord to plug in this USB charging cable. And what I read a little bit was that, yeah, you could turn this power switch on and off to illuminate Pac-Man like we just did a second ago. But let's have this on here. I can take my phone, which I have here. This is a Samsung S23, and I'll play some non-copyright music. You can hear it. Now if I put it right in Pac-Man's mouth, hear the difference? Got louder, didn't it? Now it needs to be turned on for that to work. So if I turn the switch off in the back, you don't hear it amplified. You can still hear it from my phone, but it's not amplified right now. I'll turn it back on. Definitely a lot louder, quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. It didn't need any power source to do the amplifying, which was pretty nice. Now, you only need that USB charging cable to be plugged in if you want to charge the internal battery here, which is what it's charged right now, obviously, because I have light coming off of Pac-Man, and it's actually able to do the amplifying of the music and sound. But you also need this plugged in to actually use it to charge your phone. For this portion of the video, I'm going to try something a little bit different. And what you're seeing right now is a recording that was done from my laptop's camera versus the camera that I normally would use to create my videos, which is done on my Samsung S20 phone. So the Samsung S20 phone is not recording this because I want to show how I can charge it by putting it inside of Pac-Man's mouth with the wireless charging mechanism. In order for that to work, Pac-Man needs to be plugged in with its USB cable that came with it, which it is. So right now it's actually charging the internal battery for Pac-Man, which is used for the illuminated light that goes on when I turn the switch on and back, as well as for the induction speaker. So that's being charged, but because it's plugged in, I can also charge my phone. And currently my phone is at 75%, so it could use a charge. And all you have to do is just put it in its mouth, just like that. And you hear that little chime, you can see it says 75%, and it's charging right now. I think it says 1 hour and 7 minutes. Let me just get some light to that, push the button, there we go. 1 hour and 7 minutes until fully charged. So that's how that works. It's pretty simple. You can also play music while it's charging, but it has to be turned on. So I'll turn the light on here, or the switch in the back, which will light it up. And let me play some non-copyright music or sounds, and let's see how that comes across. So now it's being amplified, the sound. If I remove it, it's not.
Hello and welcome to episode 107 of Antic, the entire 8-bit computer podcast for April 2024. I am Randy Kindig, one of the co-hosts of the Andy Podcast.
So you can hear the difference. It's pretty obvious, but that's pretty cool. You can actually just have this thing playing some music while it's charging and go about your day. Now, yes, it's not going to be rapid charging. As you can see, the percentage was at 75%, and it's not going to climb to 100% quickly. It's at over an hour. But hey, it's all right. If you're not in a hurry, this is perfect to use for that purpose. So that is how the wireless charging works with this Pac-Man wireless speaker and charger. Now let's get back to the better camera view. Well, I think I covered everything that this Pac-Man charger and speaker unit offers. I probably should give you some of the specs on this. So let me give you the dimensions on it first. And that measures about 6¼ inches in diameter. And it's pretty light. Let's unplug the back here and just give it a good weigh in. It's all plastic, so it's going to be pretty light. And he comes in at 14.6 ounces. And it does have an internal battery. The internal battery is a rechargeable one, and it's a 500 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. The wireless charging outputs only 5 watts, which is why I mentioned earlier that it's not a rapid charger. And the induction speaker, that sounded pretty decent coming through those holes right there. Now that's only a 5-watt speaker, which produces pretty decent sound. And I think that does now cover everything that I could possibly mention. Oh, maybe one more thing. When you do plug it in to charge it, it does illuminate with a little bit of a red amber glow. And when it's fully charged, when the internal battery is fully charged, it goes away. Now I think I've covered everything. So overall, I think it's a nice looking item. You know, there's a few cool features that I went over and I showed. Now, is it worth $50? I don't know. Maybe $25 now that I already know what it does and how it looks and all. But I'm pretty sure that in the year 2065, people will be more than happy to pay at least $200. Well, be sure to comment down below and let your thoughts be known. And also, please be sure to subscribe. This is the circa 2022 Bandai Namco Pac-Man wireless charger and speaker. Thanks again for watching, and remember, keep your gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.